All right, so there are definitely signs more linked to creativity, but any sign can be creative. One thing I do want to talk about is, yes, certain signs are known for certain things. That does not mean other people can't have those. I have my moon shirt on today. That doesn't mean that some people can't have the same traits. We're human beings. We all learn. We all love. We all have families. Most people. You make money. You have a career. You have a job. You've went to school. You have some type of belief system, whatever that is. You have a social life. Like there's all the things in an astrology chart. All 12 areas of a chart, all houses, all 12 signs are part of our life. And so I really want people to stop saying, I hate this sign. If you hate that sign, that means you hate what they represent in your life. If you hate Aquarius, that means you hate revolution. You hate change. You hate society trying to better itself. You hate Libra. You hate partnership. You hate Virgo. You hate analyzing something. That means you shouldn't be analyzing your bank account. Why are you doing that? You hate Virgo energy, right? You shouldn't be looking detail oriented. You shouldn't be looking over your contract because you hate Virgo energy. You shouldn't be communicating with people because you hate Virgo energy. If you hate Pisces, you shouldn't be enjoying music and all these creative things that Pisces energy is responsible for. So again, I'm talking about the energy, but it doesn't make sense to hate a whole sign. That's just not my type of astrology. That's not what I subscribe to. So the point of it is that just because I say, or anyone says that a certain sign, somebody got mad once at a post someone made on Instagram. They're like, wait, that sign is not known for that. And it's like, maybe not. But the thing is that all signs a lot of signs show the same traits in a different way and for a different reason, right? All signs are not going to have the same reason or purpose for how they interact with a certain life subject topic. You know what I mean? So the signs that are most associated with creativity, again, you read a book, you're going to see this. And I say this because some people go on Twitter and they start following people, or they go on Instagram, and no shade, no hate on this, but you go on Twitter and you follow people and you think that is all there is about astrology. You got to read your books. When you read, you come to new conclusions about things. You get to interact with someone else's mindset without having a bunch of people telling you what to think about what facts are. So the signs that are most creative on paper, Leo is expressive. So Leo is more likely to show their talents, where some signs might hide it or not be sure of how to express their talents. Leo energy, that's why a lot of Leos are in show business, or a lot of Leo risings even are in the open. They're in the public. They're not afraid. They're not ashamed to show their talents, okay? And they need acknowledgement, okay? And Leo can be really good with, I know like a lot of Leos with expression, so they're good with art or drawing or some type of artistry in some way or some capacity or some appreciation. So even Leo personality might be creative if they're not creative themselves. Cancer is creative. Cancer is able to channel the internal inspiration ruled by the moon. And Cancer energy is really good because they also tap into emotion to create. And that's part of creation. You have to be able to tap into your center of expression and of motivation. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is dreams and illusions. So Pisces energy is good at taking something and creating something that is not really realistic or something that's not common or not earthy, but they can create. And Pisces energy is really good at knowing like music, or creative music, or creating things that center the soul. Pisces is linked to the soul. Taurus and Libra energy, their creativity, Venus rules them. So Venus, we're thinking about beauty and creativity as well, and that type of energy in Taurus. Taurus more so in the aesthetics of environment, how that looks, and Libra more so in their personal aesthetics and how they look, for the most part when it comes to that. Now, interesting because we'll talk later about Libra's also an air sign, so it's also an intellectual part of them. So let's get started. Aries, and this is going to be pretty quick, for the most part, hopefully. Aries creativity centers from being, a risk taker. They have an idea, an instinct, and they go for it. They're not afraid. There are other signs that are afraid to go for it. So Aries creativity is interesting where it comes more for like, some people might start with, finish what Aries actually started, but Aries has that spark and they just go for it. And so that's why sometimes Aries, even though people are like, wait, Aries energy is like sometimes can be impulsive, you know, short-sighted a little bit. But because they have so much belief in themselves and because they are so self-driven, they take risks that other people might not take. And because they take those risks, they sometimes seize these opportunities that other people are afraid to take. And so their creativity is more so around whatever idea they have. Aries kind of said, let me try this. Let me see if it works. And other signs don't necessarily do that. So Aries creativity is more so on that, you know, experimental tip. They're not afraid to experiment and see how something goes, right? Taurus is more so, like I said, aesthetics. It is ruled by Venus. Venus deals with beauty, possessions, values, right? Partnership. And so with Taurus, you know, a lot of time with Taurus, creativity is very practical, but it's also could be how they look. More of an earthy, classy vibe. They're really good at putting things together that look good in terms of like aesthetics, you know, what an environment looks like. So Taurus creativity is usually pretty good for being practical about like, where should things be? How should something look? Why is that there? How is this going to make people, like, you know, like it's very, very practical. It's down to earth because Venus rules beauty. And so Taurus energy is able to look at the beauty and some simplicity of it though. It's the simplicity of beauty. It's the natural, remember the earth sense, it's the natural beauty that Taurus can tap into. So whether that is them creating something or decorating something or them even how they present themselves, very classy, sophisticated. So Taurus energy sometimes is more so like, it's very concentrated in their environment, what they can control. It's not like Leo where it's going to be outward. See what I'm saying? Gemini creativity comes from words. Gemini energy is ruled by Mercury, and so we're dealing with communication and words, right? Writing, you know, communicating, broadcasting, you know, having the gift of gab, you know, having a lot of knowledgeable information, being able to use that. So Gemini air also is like spreading what they think, what they believe, and so coming to, you know, an understanding of being able to inspire people through what you say. Gemini energy's creativity is going to be more so what they say, their words, you know, how their words impact people. Cancer energy, I kind of touched on that. Cancer is more so like very easy to tap into what people feel. And Cancer's ability to tap into what people really feel is that intuitive part. And so sometimes they can use that to create an inviting environment. And so what Cancer does is it's not just practical like Taurus, it's in order to get people to feel a certain way. You know, they care a lot about what things look like. They have to feel comfortable with what things look like. They might be really good at saying, oh, you know, I put this here because when I come home from work, I feel really drained and I have to have my area here. Or I have this painting here. It just calms you down. I have this here because, you know, and so a lot of times you think about how Cancer goes about creating, it is through sense of what they feel, their raw feeling. And that's why some of them can also make good artists. Like I know a lot of times people say, oh, Cancer, you know, they're good with, you know, nurturing and helping people and emotions. But Cancer can also be an artistic sign as well. You know, people don't realize that, but it's because think about where art comes from. Your own self is inspiration. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is intuitive. The moon is yourself. It is your own personal drive. It's not the ego. And so Cancer energy can also tap into that sense of I can tap into what people. Also, some Cancers have been known to be like comedians. Like a lot of this, like you have to understand, like it's not just, you know, these one and done. You know, signs are known for multiple things. And so Cancer is able to tap into the human condition. What are people feeling? What are people really feeling? And I'm going to express that. Leo, come on. Leo is expressive, you know, in general. So Leo energy usually illuminates their talents, as I said earlier. You know, I'm not going to go into depth with Leo. I talk a lot about Leo, and I have, in the beginning of the video, I told you why Leo is also known for being creative. In fact, when I think of when someone says, what's a creative sign? First one that comes to mind is Leo, then Pisces, then, you know, a few others. Again, I'm not saying the other signs cannot be this. You have to look at your whole chart because maybe you're like, I'm really creative and you have some placements in your 12th and 5th house. And that is kind of sparking that anybody can be creative. It just means that these energies might be easier for a person to tap into. Virgo. Virgo's creativity is going to be similar in a way to Gemini because they're both ruled by Mercury. And so Virgo's creativity is finding something no one else has noticed and making it like, you know, and expanding that and communicating that. Now, Virgo takes a long time to think because Virgo likes to look at every single option possible. So they're really good at like multitasking because Virgo can like quickly, remember, it's nervous energy from Mercury, not as nervous. Mercury isn't as nervous in Gemini. Virgo more nervous but also quick because Mercury is a quick planet. So Virgo can like analyze things and see all the little patterns and things. And so Virgo is really good at pulling out patterns, noticing something no one else has noticed before, looking at something and saying, oh, let me take that. Nobody's noticed that. Nobody's done that before. Mutable sign too. So mutable signs can kind of take what is there and change it up or adapt to it. So Virgo's creativity is can come from words as well, like Gemini, the way they communicate, the way they write, you know, those different things. They're, you know, the way they talk even. But talking, definitely, I forgot to mention that for Gemini, definitely the talking component, because Gemini is way more talkative than Virgo. But that's where Virgo's creativity is going to come from. Now, and if you want, you could put together all like your moon, your sign, your rising, your sun, your moon, your rising to see like how does your creativity fit together for all those three. And then Libra creativity. So Libra's creativity is interesting because Libra's creativity is more so based on like how they put themselves together is what I've noticed. Like they're ruled by Venus. Venus is beauty. Now Taurus can be more down to earth. Libra can sometimes have more of that very self-awareness of what they look like. You have to remember the link to the flower narcissist in the myth and legend. We're talking about Libra energy. And so not all Libras, but there can be a little bit of narcissism or a concern with how they look, how they present, what they look like, and so Libra's creativity is usually going to come from, and it's interesting because Libra doesn't have to try that hard. Libra is linked to beauty, and I'm not saying every single person is like Libra is like going to be this beauty and every person who's not is not, but Libra, I'm just saying like Libra energy is typically very alluring, okay, kind of like Taurus energy, because they're both ruled by Venus, and Venus does with beauty. Okay, and so in that aspect, what you're going to see a lot is like Libra's creativity comes from how they present themselves, how they look. You know, they might be someone who people look at for like inspiration on how to appear, how to dress, what to you know, what's attractive. And so but the reason I say that is like some people might be like, well, wait, it is an air sign. So I don't think that's Libra's best trait, what they look like. I don't think that's the thing. But Libra isn't, they're mostly known for their ability to relate to other people. But when it comes to creativity, what you're typically going to see is Libra cares about what they look like, what they have on, what their accessories are. They're ruled by Venus. Scorpio, creativity is going to come more from themselves. They're not trying to impress anybody. They're transformative. And so Scorpio might be able, you might see a Scorpio person where like, wow, I saw you was working at this place, making $12 an hour. And now like 3 years later, Scorpio is like owning their business, or they're in a really high position. Their creativity is not to impress the world. Scorpio creativity is to transform themselves and their situation. And so they'll do that in very unorthodox ways sometimes. Like they'll do certain things. They'll have a lot of, they will kind of see all the different things they can do in order to make themselves to that point. And so Scorpio's creativity comes from more so their ability to figure out different ways to transform themselves and their ability to look at different steps along the way and say, wait a minute. They also can be really creative with how they get, how do I say this? How to get other people to see their point of view in a way that's different than Libra. They're not gonna relate to you. They're going to be able to change what you think through, I wouldn't say manipulation, but they can kind of mold what people think. This doesn't just mean Scorpio. I mean, if you're Mercury in Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio in the third house, a lot of people in that generation, that Pluto and Scorpio generation, if you have a third house, like, so there's different ways you could do that. But Scorpio also can be very creative in how they get what they want. They're very strategic. All right, Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius creativity comes from similar in a way to Aries, but different. Risk taking. Sagittarius is like, I wanted to try this because I'm going to do this and I'm going to be able to X, Y, and Z. Whereas Aries is instinctual, Sagittarius is purposeful. It makes sense because Sagittarius is the last fire sign. So of course it's going to have a different reason for why it does what it does. Sagittarius strength is their, you know, their philosophy, their thoughts, their ability to take thoughts and transform them into actions and kind of speak truth and breathe life into those actions. And so Sagittarius energy is really good at just creating opportunities for themselves where they can be able to voice what they believe is true. So creativity comes from their ability to take risks in that, because when you have to tell the truth, they're going to be able to say, well, this is what I believe and think, and I'm going to put that out there. And so Sagittarius is more so their ability to think what other people want to say but cannot say. They have a really good way with words in impacting people. And so Sagittarius creativity is going to come from risk taking, right? Being inspired. Right? Sagittarius is inspired. They have an idea and they make it come to life through how they can message to other people. So their creativity is more cerebral, but it also is very action driven because they are a fire sign. And so their creativity is sparked by by what they are inspired by, what idea comes to mind. They'll see something and say, I'm going to try that. I could help many people. Or if we did, I'm going to tell people the truth because they need to know. And so theirs is more so, it's a different way of being, you know, creative, but it's different because other people are not doing this. And what you're talking about creativity is when what you're doing, nobody else has done. It's not an old, tired idea. It's not overdone. Sagittarius can also be linked to diversity and travel and things like that. So Sagittarius is more so willing and open to do what has not been done before, what is not popular to say, what is not popular to do, but they're going to do it with so much conviction that it's going to make an impact. All right. Capricorn creativity. Capricorn's ability to be creative is going to be more so based on their ability to achieve some type of desired result. And so it might not always start off as this grand, big idea, right? But Capricorn is going to sometimes have very, it's interesting because it's like they might not go about things the way other people would do it. It's slow and steady wins the race. They're very, very, very strategic. You know, we think Scorpio is, but I think that Capricorn is even more strategic than Scorpio, because Scorpio is still tied to water sign emotion. And sometimes Scorpio doesn't know when to let go. Scorpio is tied to what they think and what they feel, whether wrong or right. And Capricorn is more so about the goal, the ambition. And so Capricorn is willing to do almost anything to get there. And sometimes you'll find Capricorn people doing things that you're like, wait a minute. And it's interesting because you're like, is this a Capricorn doing this? Because Capricorn is known for tradition. But Capricorn will forsake tradition in order to make it to the top. And then they'll return back to being traditional. Because Capricorn's comfort zone is doing what has been tested, what is true, what has been done before. Why are we changing things up? This is what gets us. But when it comes to a grand result, Capricorn is willing. Even look at your moon and Capricorn people. Like, a lot of people don't understand this. They're willing to kind of give up a part of who they are to get to the top or get to what they want. And then they'll go back to being, you know, traditional. So their way of creativity is more so like looking at, how do I get this? And if it's a way that's not, you know, what I usually do, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try to find a way that's going to get me to this ambitious goal that I have, because this is what I want. They're cardinal sign. That's why I'm saying it's about Capricorn energy. Now, at the same time, you know, different placements do different things, but Capricorn creativity is going to be looking at where are all the different ways to do this? What's going to get me the goal, right? What is going to get me to what I want? And so it's not the same type of creativity as, say, a Pisces person, but their creativity is more so the ability, when needed, to step outside the box to get to the big goal, the big thing at hand. They can also help other people do that as well. You want to get to the top, here's what you do. And you're listening to a Capricorn like, what? And then you're just like, oh. And in some Capricorn, not a lot. I mean, I don't really know I don't know many negative Capricorns personally, but yes, you can sometimes have unscrupulous Capricorns, people who do whatever to get to the top, people who are cutthroat, people who do not follow the rules. And you're like, Capricorn is supposed to follow the rules. But when it comes to getting what they want, that's the negative side of Capricorn, depending on the person at hand. Next is Aquarius. Well, outside the box for sure. All right. Aquarius creativity comes from thought. More so different than Virgo or like Gemini, where you're dealing with facts that are there. Aquarius is trying to create new facts, new ideas, new ideologies. And so Aquarius creativity comes from new thought processes, kind of picking up where Sagittarius started and now refining it, right? Because they're ruled by Saturn, so they have some type of process that they go through, but also they're ruled by Uranus, which is very unpredictable. And so Aquarius creativity comes from their ability to skirt around the rules. You thought Capricorn can skirt around the rules if they want something? Aquarius is going to reinvent the rules. Aquarius is going to say, I don't care if we did it that way. We're doing it this way. Or I'm going to get that anyway, and I'm going to do it my own way. And so where a Capricorn creativity is going to be about, you know, being more flexible to get what they want, you know, changing the boundaries a little bit to get what they want, but not too much, because you still got to maintain some. Aquarius does not care about maintaining tradition. They're not about that. Now, can they follow it? Yes, because they're ruled by Saturn as well, just like Capricorn. But Uranus means unpredictable. So it's very interesting, and maybe I'll do a video one day about the Aquarius energy. But Aquarius is going to say their creativity is about reinventing things, changing it up. They might come into a new job and they're like, we're not doing any of this. Okay, we're not doing any of this what your old boss did. This is how we're doing things. That can be Aquarius energy, is like their willingness, their creativity to like, nope, we're changing this whole thing up. We're going to do it differently. Pisces creativity is just pure, raw. It's the last sign of Zodiac. They've experienced everything. Pisces can channel a lot of different energy. I know a lot of Pisces people that I know, creative. Like, and even if their main job is not creative, they're creative. They write, or they sing, or they draw, or they act, or they do something that is, you know, just, you know, it taps into the human soul. Capricorn can tap into what people feel. Pisces energy and placements, they tap into the soul. What does everybody in the world, everybody, Michael Jackson, whether, you know, I know people feel whatever way about Michael Jackson, but I'm going to talk about the astrology of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a Pisces moon and a Pisces rising, I believe. I know there was some debate over his chart, but when I looked at the different times they were offering, I'm like, this man had to be a Pisces rising. He has to be a Pisces rising. There's no other rising that would make sense in this world to me for Michael Jackson than Pisces. So Pisces rising, all that Pisces, he was a Virgo, but he was Pisces, he has some Pisces energy. The ability to tap into how to get millions of fans across the world. He's not just, you know, catering to people that are the same race as him or people that are, you know, in the same music industry. He's tapping into the human soul. People of all genders, races, orientations, and ages can relate to Michael Jackson's music. That is Pisces, the human soul. I'm connecting to everybody. Everybody's gonna like this. That is Pisces' way of creativity. They're able to tap into the human condition and produce things. Or if they're not creative in like the sense of music or things like that, you can tap into healing. You can heal people with Pisces energy. Healing, you know, recovery, making people feel, you know, more, you know, spiritually at ease. That's definitely some Pisces energy there. All right. So thank you if you got through this whole video. My website is www.amethystvirgo.com. I'll put a link below. If you would like a birth chart reading, please visit my site and I will respond with the times that it will take me. Typically now it's not summer for me anymore. It might take 5 days for a chart, but sometimes earlier depending on my time and other charts that I'm doing. So thank you for watching.